What's up, guys?
Hey everyone.
Here once again for you to subscribe.
And for you to like this video. Last time I didn't say that and you got very upset.
I didn't get upset. Whatever, man.
I have to say like the video. I don't
point
know why I
is-
have to say that.
Like the video.
Okay. Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place to level up your relationship. In this episode, I gave up everything for you.
Whoa.
You did not do that for me.
That's not part of the title.
Oh, and word of the day. I forgot that I was welcoming everybody. I forgot.
What you mean?
Like right before you pointed to me like, hey, you're supposed to be. And I'm like, oh, what do I say? I forgot.
And your point is that this episode obviously touches close to some real... People know that when we do our episodes, it's basically we only get our stuff from like certain places. And one of the places is our own relationship. You know
90%. 90% is what we've been through.
That's true.
Okay.
So how you doing, by the way?
I'm doing great.
Good day so far?
Great day so far.
I'm having a good day as
very
well.
relaxed, and I think, you really do have to vacation from your vacation.
You're right about that.
Because you just need a break from
I just need to say something
all
to
the
you
stuff.
very quickly about something that I'm very proud of you for.
Ooh.
In normal situations, I think
Mhm.
you really struggle as a teacher, and I feel like most teachers do this, the ones that I know at least.
Mhm.
You struggle with being able to enjoy your summer vacation while you still have it. It feels like you spent a lot of time talking about how you have to go back to school soon. But you haven't really done that this time.
Yeah, I do that now on the phone with my sister away from you, so you don't have to hear me.
So
do
you
it.
have been doing it still?
Yes.
Wow.
But actually,
So I lost a little bit of pride.
No, you should be proud.
I'm still proud of you, though.
No, you should be proud because I have not been really thinking about it. I actually haven't been saying it to my sister often.
Right.
We just said once, like, oh man, you only have, you only
Right.
have, like, we didn't even realize, you only have like 2 weeks or a week or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will take that
I'm proud
compliment.
of you. Excellent job.
Yes.
And I just feel like you've been here just in the vacation. Like, okay, you've been present. There's a point at which I think a few weeks out, there's a point at which you stop vacationing in your mind. And now you're back to work already, even though you're not back to work. And I'm like, dude, take every moment. Why are you?
I know.
But anyway, I feel like you're doing better. So I'm very proud of you.
I appreciate that.
Excellent job.
I needed that.
Okay, babe. So you brought up the subject. So what in the world are we talking about?
So I'm just going to let everybody know, if you
Mhm.
don't know, my husband is a pastor.
That's true.
And when I started dating him, he was not going to be a pastor.
I was going to be a pediatric psychiatrist. So I was a biology
Yes.
major at Oakwood.
Right.
And
So he was
then-
about to make us some real money.
Right. And then I switched to psychology.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until my junior year that I became a theology major. Incidentally, I knew that April was going to want to break up with me when she found out I was going into ministry.
I don't know why, but okay.
Because your dad's a pastor. And I was like...
I loved my dad being, he was great. He was
but that doesn't
a
mean you wanted to be
great
a
father.
pastor's wife. I just assumed you were going to dump me.
He did not make me hate the ministry.
Right. Yeah. Neither did mine.
He
So
made me
that's
love
good.
it.
Right.
You
Mine
know,
too.
so
That's true.
my parents were very good at making sure that it was not a bad experience for us.
Right.
So when you said it, what I wasn't looking at was the future.
So that's what you
Not
want to
that
talk
I
about.
regret.
That's what you really want
Not
to talk
that I
about.
regret it. I do not regret it. But I mean, and I was 2 years in, boo.
Mhm.
So I was 2 years in. You already had me.
Let's see. I don't think that's right because my junior year, we had been dating only...
Oh, it was like a year and some.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a year and some.
Yeah,
So I wasn't
because,
2 years
right.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. Because my whole
But
freshman
still.
year is when I was biology and then psychology. By the time you got to the school,
Right.
I was a psychology major. Anyway, the point is you married me
Mhm.
under false pretenses. Just kidding. That's not really what happened.
I dated you under false pretenses.
Right.
Okay, I may not have dated you at all. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
I think that might be true.
No, it isn't, because I was not one of those people. I'm just saying I was not that person who was
Okay.
like, I'm never gonna be.
Yeah.
I really didn't have a negative view
Mhm.
of the ministry,
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
a ministry, whatever. I
Mhm.
didn't have a
Mhm.
negative view because my parents were very good at making
Mhm.
sure that we did not see the negative.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You are bombarded by the negative
no.
aspects all
I
the
mean,
time.
of course, you're going to get those people that did certain things, but
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
my parents. It's really about what happens when you get home.
I agree.
And they supported us and they took up for us when
Mhm.
other people weren't doing
Mhm.
right. So
Mhm.
and we didn't have a whole lot of that.
Mhm.
So anyway, but I do believe that once I got into it, I did not know what I was getting into.
From what
I will say that.
perspective? Because one of the things that I felt like was great about us was that because we were both pastors' kids, there were things about that whole thing, that whole dynamic that we just understood without even having to talk about. So I think there's
That's
a
true.
lot that we knew going in. What is it specifically you're talking about that you did not know beforehand that probably
So
caused some
I'm
problems?
gonna say this. I thought that the expectations of the people,
Mm-hmm.
which can be very burdensome.
Mm.
It can be very burdensome, the expectations of the people,
Mm.
especially for an introvert, I think.
Mm.
Not saying extroverts don't, but me as an introvert.
It
That's
was
what I
tough on
mean.
you as
It
an
was
introvert.
tough on me
Yeah.
because the expectations were ones that I did not want to,
Live up to?
no,
Right.
I didn't.
Yeah.
And so, I love that you fill in the words that I can't find. I
I
really
like doing
appreciate
that, actually.
Yeah, because sometimes I just don't have the words.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the thing I think I wasn't ready for was you having those same expectations,
Mm.
and we did not discuss it.
Wow.
And that really,
This is crazy how often this happens that I've never heard you say something. Like I've never heard you say. Now, first of all, we've talked about this. We've talked about expectations of people
mm-hmm,
and them always looking at us, stuff like that. So I know all that.
mm-hmm.
I've never heard you say that the thing that really disappointed you was the fact that I had the same ones. I
I'm
never. Wow.
gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was 21.
Yeah.
I was 21 years old. I
Right.
was still a kid.
Right.
I still wanted to be a kid.
You want
I
to just do
still
the things
wanted
you
to
could
be.
do.
I mean, think about it. Think
Mhm.
about your niece right now. Your niece, my
Right.
niece,
Right.
who's 21 years old.
Right.
She is able to just be free
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
enjoy life, wear the
Mhm.
cute little clothes,
Mhm.
do the things. And I feel like at that age, I wanted to do the same thing. And
Mm.
I, all of a sudden, out of nowhere,
You couldn't do that no more.
was then trapped into this position that I had to uphold to. I had to have,
Yeah.
and my own husband was right in line
With the rest of
with
them.
the folks who
Right.
be.
Right.
I'm like, are
Right.
you kidding me? And I did not know
Mhm.
that beforehand.
Right.
I was definitely bamboozled
Now,
on that one.
let me just say,
I was.
let me just say that I feel like I was too, though. I don't.
Excuse me?
Let me tell you what I mean.
Okay.
I don't think before I get in trouble. That was a real excuse me just now. I did not realize that the people would respond that way either.
How did you not realize that?
Well,
You were a pastor's kid as well.
Okay, so this is the thing.
And your parents let you see more than mine let me see.
So here's what's crazy. What's crazy is there is a difference, definitely, between
Mhm.
being a pastor's kid and actually being the pastor.
Mhm.
There's a difference. And I wasn't ready for that. I didn't expect that it was going to be that different. I felt like I
Mhm.
knew everything already because I
Well,
grew up in
and
this.
let me clear that up when I say your parents allowed you to see, not necessarily wanted you to see.
Mhm.
But and what I meant by that was your dad actually pastored a church.
Where your dad was like,
I'm sorry,
head of the
several
conference and
churches
stuff like
in
that.
several
Yes.
different
Yes.
states.
Yes.
Okay, so you saw more
Yes.
than I did
That's
because
not-
mine
that's
was
not really-
an administrator.
Yes.
So I didn't have as much.
Yes. So that's
Okay,
not the
that's
thing.
all I meant by that.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
So that's not the thing, though.
Mhm.
The thing about this, I think, is I was not expecting that the way people thought about us was going to affect me that way. I didn't know that I was going to care that, and
Well, you were 22 as well.
correct.
So
That's what I'm saying. So there were
21, 22.
And here's the other thing,
Mhm.
April. I had not made up my mind about a lot of this stuff. So a lot of
So
these
you were
things,
deciding.
I was deciding in the moment.
Oh, that's
And
bad.
So
That's
right.
really bad.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is it wasn't like I don't even think we could have had a conversation about this unless somebody who had done it just like us
Right.
said to us, "Hey, let me talk to y'all about this. How would
Right.
you feel about this if this
Or
happened?"
not even done just like us. Just say, hey, now, y'all are young.
Right.
Do you know what you're getting into?
Right.
Like, do you know?
We never had that.
And I wish someone did because I think I would have been a lot less upset.
Yes. So let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
All right. So the title of the episode is I Gave Up Everything for You.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really want to know, part of the reason why we're doing this is because we had a conversation where we were talking about it, but the conversation came up because of something else. And let me just say, a couple of our friends just celebrated 20 years of marriage and they did a live. We were watching it. And this recurring theme, these friends are just like us in that the guy's a pastor and the wife is the pastor's wife. And a recurring theme that we heard in their live was this feeling of resentment over having to do things that they didn't know they were going to have to do. And so we've had the same conversation.
And it pertained a lot to the ministry.
Correct.
Right.
So here's the question for today for us. What do you feel like you had to give up for me, maybe that you had a problem with? And I think I had something too. I think I had something that I gave up, which isn't related to ministry per se, but kind of.
Right, but I want to clarify.
Actually, mine is related to ministry.
I want to clarify. I have to tell the audience this.
Yeah.
That I have always had I know what it is that I gave up for you. I had to tell you what you gave up.
Well, that's true. Well, that's not really true.
It is.
That's not really true.
I told you what I thought you gave up. You were like, "Oh wow, I never even thought I gave up anything." You're right, I did.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you were able to find something else that you thought. But so what I'm saying is, I just need to clarify that because
that your thing that you had to give up, you've been thinking about, ruminating on, have been resented for a long time.
Right.
Right.
And I think that just for other couples out there, I think people have to give up things for each other, for their jobs and things like that, no matter what, whether it's ministry, whether it's being in the business world, whether it is, I don't know. So anyways, okay. So I felt like I had to give up my ability to fully be able to just express myself the way I wanted to. Okay.
Yeah. And when you say express yourself, you don't mean verbally.
No.
You just mean
I feel like
the way that you dress, the way you present yourself, how you do your hair.
Exactly. Right. And I think that's a part of expressing who you are.
Yeah. Well, for some people, especially an artistic person like yourself, it's important for you to be able to express yourself in an artistic way sometimes. It means sometimes wanting to do something to your hair that is, flamboyant. Or
I don't even do it. Ain't even no flamboyance. Stuff that I wanted to do.
Well, first of all, hold on.
I didn't even want to color my hair.
Let's just pause.
Okay, let's just put it that way. I wasn't trying to come in church with the pink hair, even though I love that and I think that should be fine. But I'm just saying.
Let's pause for a second and just say that I think I have grown a lot in this area. You have grown a lot. And there are a lot of things that I feel like I am 100% comfortable with you doing that I wasn't comfortable with at age 22.
I agree. And so what I'm saying is I have to clarify this as well.
Okay.
And you're right. You are now at definitely a different place.
Yes.
Where you are much more,
open
to me expressing myself.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
To a certain extent.
I guess what I'm saying is I don't think there's really anything wrong with people being able to do that, even if they're in positions like you're in.
I know you don't, but I think as a young person, you were young. You did not want there to be any kind of,
Let me tell you what it really was.
Situation.
Things were hard enough already.
You're right. You didn't want to add to it.
Yeah. It was like, here I am coming straight out of college. When I first started pastoring, I was 21.
Right.
By the time we got married, I was 22.
Yeah.
But when I started pastoring, I was 21. I pastored for 6 months as a single man. I had braces. I had a bald head. I looked
you weren't
like
bald yet.
Yeah, I shaved it bald.
Then?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'll show you some pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I first started pastoring.
Yeah.
I grew it back after that, and you were cutting my hair. You were my barber for a while, but I'm saying for that first 6 months, I was just shaving my head to save money. Anyway.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you didn't know that? Wow. Anyway.
That.
So there was all this stuff, and it was like 90% of the members of my church were older than me. So the people really had a hard time even respecting me. And so it was really selfish, but I was thinking about how much more difficult things would be if now all of a sudden, with all the myriad issues that they had with me, they also had a bunch of issues with my wife. And so that's what I was really thinking about.
I guess that is selfish, and that is true.
Yeah.
But I felt like if you go ahead and do it. They know that's you. Like
Mhm.
after a while, they'll say, you know what? Because when you're
Mhm.
kind to people, this is just my belief.
Mhm.
When you are kind and loving in spite of the way people act, eventually they come around.
They get to know
They get
you,
to know, they
they
realize,
realize,
wow,
and
this
they
person,
accept who you are,
exactly. I'm not gonna be
even though your
mad at
hair is
she.
red.
She's so nice. I'm
Right.
not gonna be mad at her because, and I don't think red, but if her hair was blue,
Right.
I don't think that I would. And I don't have nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with somebody with
Right.
blue hair, but
Right.
some people have issues with that.
Right. Yes.
And so I feel like if I was continuing to love and be kind, we invite them over
Mhm.
regardless of them
Mhm.
looking at me in a
Mhm.
certain way,
Mhm.
which I was willing to do. I do
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. Right.
I be killing people with kindness,
Right.
man. I love that.
Yes. Right. That's your thing.
That's
That's
my
your
thing.
jam, actually.
That is. And so I just feel like if we had done that together, if we had
Mhm.
decided
Mhm.
we are going to come in, first of all, we were the
Mhm.
youngest pastoral family in our whole
Conference.
thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like all these, so it would be under, I mean, I feel like after a while they would say, these are young people or
Mhm.
and so I kind of wanted to be us against them, not
So
against, but you know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
us against
Yes.
that. We're going to turn them around to love
Yes.
us, no, in spite
Yes.
of.
Right. But
And you
that
did
didn't
not do
happen.
that.
You're right. Okay, so here's the question. How did that make you feel?
I mean, it made me feel like you were not concerned about my feelings on that at all
Mhm.
because you were very strong about,
Mhm.
and it was like you were hurt that I would not just comply, that I would fight you a little bit. And then I ended up complying,
Mhm. Mhm.
when I didn't want to wear the white and all that,
Mhm.
whatever,
Mhm.
But
Do you remember the
and I,
first? Do you remember the
that was
first?
terrible though.
Do you
That
remember
was
the
very
first
selfish of
big
me though,
what?
when I didn't want to wear
But
the
that was
white.
the ordination. That's different.
I know,
So here's
but
the question: do you remember the first time we had a big disagreement about your appearance for church? And do you remember what the issue was on?
no.
I do.
You
I
do?
do.
How old were we? Were we
It
still?
was in our first few months of marriage, so we were 22.
What?
I think
Was
you were
it?
22 by then too, because it was January. We'd have been pastoring for a
I
little
mean,
while
I would
now.
say that it'd have to be like one of my outfits that were short. Was too
Nope.
short.
Nope.
No.
Nope. No,
My ring,
you didn't
my
have a
wedding
lot.
ring.
Nope. You didn't have a lot of short stuff, so that wasn't a problem.
Um.
You ready?
Yeah.
Stockings.
Oh my goodness.
It was wearing
Just
stockings.
hearing that is making me so irritated.
So
Are you kidding
hold
me?
on. But who won that? Do you remember
What?
who won that one?
I did.
Yes, you
I
did.
did. I said
That
I
was
am not. That was where I
this
put
was the
my foot
first.
down on that. I
Yes,
remember.
you said because we
I
were
was
listen,
like,
guys.
you
We were
know
pastoring in
what,
like Dublin, Georgia, which is like
y'all, we in the
so
country,
hot.
okay?
April was like, "It is 98 degrees outside. I'm not wearing stockings," and she didn't say it like that. I just said it nicely.
I
And
couldn't
hold
understand
on. But
that.
let me tell you why. Do you
Guys,
want me to tell you
I'm
why I
really
remember it?
still baffled
Do
now.
you want me to tell you why I remember it?
Why?
I remember it because in that moment when you said it, something snapped. And I said, these people are being unreasonable. Why would I be fighting to make you wear stockings and it's that hot? You're right. And I gave it up and I said, you know what? You're right. I never brought it up
What if it was
one day
cold
again.
though?
Doesn't matter. That's not the point. The
Okay.
point is, in that moment, something happened to break we had a breakthrough in that moment. And I
Okay.
realized right
We
then
did. I remember
that
you
there
having
is a
issues.
line that we have to draw.
Yes.
That at some point, it's ridiculous.
It really is.
I was like, yo, bump that. We're not doing
And
that.
see, you
I
have to
never brought it up
understand
again.
too,
And
when
listen,
you,
I didn't have a thing about stockings. I just heard some old
yeah,
lady say something about it. It wasn't
right.
even my issue.
I know it was your issue. I was like, what?
My whole thing
What
was I
is
want to
this?
protect my wife from not having to feel like people are going to be attacking her for no reason over stupid stuff, over something that's no big deal. Just wear the stockings.
But
Who
see, the
cares?
thing that got me was that when we were dating, you never had any of these issues.
True.
Ever.
Because they weren't my issues.
Exactly.
Right.
And so that's what made it worse.
Right.
You allowed these people's issues, seriously, that really were nothing.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
There might have been one or two things because of our church that I could
Yes.
see you
As a
know,
real issue.
as a real
Right.
issue that could be. Even
Yeah,
then, I'm like, come on.
right.
But okay, I
But
can
the point
understand.
is, you felt
But
like you
other
had to
things,
give up your way of expression, your individuality, your ability
I
to just
did.
be
I
free
did.
to be
To
who
be
you
me.
are
Yes.
because of other
Yes. Yes.
people's.
But
But you felt like you were giving it up for me and our
exactly.
relationship.
I do.
Okay.
I do. And so I was upset at you about that.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, I didn't take it out on you. It didn't
You
cause
never
us
did.
to.
You never did.
No, I
But
didn't take it out on you. But anytime
anytime we had a conversation
discussion,
that was even
exactly,
that
you
vein,
knew
like if it was adjacent to that,
exactly.
you automatically got a totally different vibe.
I
And I was
did.
like, oh
I
man, I can't
did.
even talk about
And
this.
I have to say this too. When you are when you're pastoring in a bigger city,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to get as much of that.
True.
So once we moved to the bigger city,
Yes.
that was
Some of the stuff was not that
yeah.
deep anymore.
You know, the
Right.
smaller places, the little
Mm-hmm.
country churches that we
Mm-hmm.
love so much because we love our country
We
churches,
really
honey.
do.
Those were some great
Those are some of the best times we've
times.
had in our lives,
Love the
actually.
people. I
Yeah.
mean, it really was. But there are some different expectations
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to that group.
True.
And you took on all of those
You're right.
for a moment.
But only a moment.
Yeah.
And I apologize, didn't I?
No.
I never did. I'm sorry.
You did
I'm
not
sorry. I'm sorry for
apologize.
not apologizing, and I'm sorry for doing that to you. I did not
Oh,
mean
we
to do
never
that.
discussed this ever.
That's
We have
not true.
Babe, we have never discussed this way. That
Okay, that's true.
we've never
You're right.
discussed that you took on these people's things that you didn't even have.
They're
These weren't even your
scruples.
beliefs.
Right.
How you didn't even feel this way.
That's true.
That's why it's so crazy. But I get what you're saying. You
Mhm.
were not trying to have any trouble because you already were having your things
I was
that were stressful.
literally shell shocked when we first became pastors. When we first started.
Yeah, you were young, babe.
Yes.
I don't know what you were expecting.
Who knows, man?
See, I knew about the country churches. You did not. See, I think
That's
too.
true. That's true.
You
too.
did not grow up in the South.
Okay, so here's what I think I
Okay.
gave up.
All right, what'd you give up?
And it's sort of ministry related too, but I
Okay.
felt like, especially when our children were little, I felt like I gave up my ability to go places, like to be away. And I wasn't trying to be away. It's not like I wanted to be gone, but I would get invited to preach a lot of places and stuff like that, and I felt like I really shouldn't be leaving you home with the kids by yourself. And so I felt like I was giving up my ability to, I don't know, preach different places and go and travel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, I don't think I ever resented you for it. I actually took it up as a mantle of my responsibility as a husband and father.
Mm-hmm.
And so it felt like something I was giving up, but it never got to the point where I was upset at you about it. I shouldn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I was upset. There were times when I felt like, man, I wish I could do this.
I could tell.
And my only reason for not being able to do it is because I guess I felt as though you could have encouraged me more to do it.
Okay, so I'm going
see what I'm
to tell
saying?
you the real reason why I did not want you to go away.
Okay. What is it?
I don't know if I've ever told you this.
Okay.
So this is like a therapy session.
Clearly. As usual.
So I think that the main reason why is because of our car accident 7 months into our marriage.
Really? You definitely never told me that.
I know. If we had not had that,
Yeah.
you probably would have been able to go everywhere.
So you were scared that if I went somewhere,
Something was going to happen to you.
Get into a car accident. I might
Into the plane.
might crash, whatever. So just
I
the
still
idea
have a
of
little bit of
separating.
that now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I really need therapy for that.
Yes.
Because we never had a full, like we had the one and it was
Yes,
great. It
right.
helped us get through
Yes.
till 20 years.
Right.
You know, it took
Yes.
away all that stuff,
Right.
that stuff that we knew, right?
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
but these little things that are like back of the brain type stuff,
Yeah.
or subconscious, I
Yeah.
think that was really one of the biggest reasons. And I feel like if that
Wow.
was gone, because I mean, my dad traveled,
Yeah, right.
so I think that I would have been okay with that. And of course, I would have said, hey, let's say once a month or once every quarter,
Let's not
whatever
make
your
it
thing
every
is.
single week
exactly,
where I'm gone.
because I
and
definitely
leaving you
believe
home.
that
Yes.
we have to protect our family.
Of course.
But
yes.
I kind of regret. I'm like, man, I wish I had encouraged you more to do that, because I think you would have grown faster. You would have, not necessarily grown faster.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily true. But I think you would have experienced some things that you didn't get to experience because I did not want you to leave.
Right. That's
Because
possible.
you definitely did not travel a lot.
I didn't. I barely. In fact.
At all. And
in
if
fact,
we did, it was us going together.
Correct. Yeah.
You did not travel.
And
like I can't.
And back then, it's like it is now. When places invite you, when churches invite you to come preach for their thing, they don't often have the money to be able to fly you and your spouse. So
exactly, and the kids
or
and
the
all
kids
that.
and all that kind of
and
stuff.
I
So
didn't want to come often anyway, because I wasn't trying to have somebody else
Mhm.
keeping my kids or whatever.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
anyway, I think that is a big reason.
So
I
that's
really
I'm
do.
glad you told me that. I had no idea. That is huge. That makes sense.
I've known this and did not want to tell you.
But now that you're saying it, I
Yeah.
think I'm realizing that early on in our relationship, I think I thought about it more than I realize now. I think I thought about the idea that I wish I could do this and I can't. And it felt like I was giving up something for you.
I felt that from you.
Right.
I did. And I felt really bad, but then I was like, I got to protect him from
From
dying.
dying. Right.
Even though I
Which is
don't
an
do that.
unreasonable fear, which isn't
It
even,
really
you know what I'm
is, but I'm
saying?
just saying,
Right.
and then I realized, man, I'm not trusting in God. Like
Mhm.
that really is a trust thing.
Mhm.
Like, God, you got us. I'm leaving our lives in your hands,
So I wonder if we have
but
other
that's a
couples.
control thing,
Right. I wonder
and
if
we
there's
go back to control.
right.
That really is a
I
control
wonder if we
thing.
have other couples right now who are watching this who are going to get in the comments and say, I got the same issue. I have a problem with feeling a certain way because I felt like I gave up this, that, or the other for my spouse. And I'm actually upset
Mhm.
about it. And I
Mhm.
wish I didn't have to give that up.
And I think mine has lasted for a long period of time, but I don't want to turn into the word of the day.
I don't either.
Do you know what the word of the day is? So the word of the
I don't
day.
remember what the word of the day
Yes,
is.
so I'll tell you. I do not want to turn into. This music is so cute. To having the word of the day, bitterness.
Bitterness.
Bitterness. You can become bitter.
You can.
If you are not happy with whatever, you can become bitter. But so let me tell you what bitterness is: anger and disappointment at being treated unfairly.
And then what's that last word?
Resentment.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can resent the person, which I think there was a little resentment there with me and you when it came to me feeling like I couldn't just, be me
I definitely
all
felt
the
that.
way. And I do believe that I felt like it was unfair.
You mean like I would get to do something you couldn't do?
No.
Or
I thought it was
unfair that
unfair.
we're putting these expectations on you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
I
unfair that
agree.
I couldn't just do things that don't matter.
Right.
Don't let me get on that, because I still feel that now. I still feel now that there's some things that I want to do
Right.
that I can't because you won't
That's not true.
feel comfortable, because I don't want to say you won't let me, because I can do it if I want to, but I'm not trying to be rocking no boat in this house for no reason, for just something simple like I want to, cut my hair in a mohawk.
Get a mohawk, girl. Who cares?
You only saying like because we in DC now.
Is that why? So we move back to the South and be like, hey, man, grow that mess back.
Yeah, I think it's important though. Seriously, like I really think it is.
I do not want to be bitter. I'm not, and I don't want you
bitter.
to be either.
No, and so you have to. I think there is some compromising, and you do have to give up some things. I mean, I think everybody gives up, because I know a lot of people. I have a friend of mine was like, my husband gave up not being able to do certain things because of my fear of that thing. I don't want him to die.
You think everybody gives up something?
Yeah, I do. But I think there are levels.
Yes.
Because I think once you give that up, that's it. You've given it up, done. But then it could be long lasting giving up. And I think that's my case.
I think it's
mine
okay.
is long lasting because we're still.
I think every couple gives up something for the other, and I think that's fine. But I do think if it's causing you resentment or bitterness, you have to discuss it.
You do.
It cannot be something that you just let go and act like it's no big deal. That's
true.
a big deal, and it could be unraveling the fabric of your relationship.
Definitely.
So you have to address that thing.
Oh yeah.
And just articulating it and saying, I really feel like you do this, that, or the other, and it's not fair, and whatever. I feel like I've had to give this up, and I'm starting to get bitter. I think that is enough to maybe free you. Maybe you don't even have to change it. Just articulating that is enough.
Yeah, and I think occupation can be a huge aspect.
People give stuff up for other things too,
goodness.
though, all the time. It's not just job.
Well, that's true.
But that often is a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I hope this helps, because, we've gone through this.
We have.
Just dealing with that whole giving up, man. Giving up, and you feel like you're giving up everything.
Right.
Well, it really isn't everything.
It's never everything. The
but
point is, I don't want to be bitter.
Way,
I don't
it
want
can turn to bitterness.
I don't want you to be bitter.
It can turn to bitterness.
So,
I don't feel bitter though.
Good.
But I did have a little resentment. But I don't anymore.
All right, y'all. See y'all next time.
Bye, guys.